Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here, back with the next part of What If Naruto Joined the Anbu. Now before continuing this part, if you haven't, then please do leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and also subscribe to my second channel Apollo Stories, in which I will be uploading more of the horror stories content. If you like it, it's up to you, at least. Anyways, without further ado, let's continue with our story. Naruto, in midnight. The blonde Anbu made it home in time to see Hikaru walk from the bathroom to the bedroom on his hands, singing about the new Anbu in Gamma Squad. Angel blinked. Naruto face palmed, and both just quietly collapsed on the couch, vowing to never speak of the incident again. Naruto. Naruto showed up half an hour later when Kurama's voice rang in his head. It had been a while since the fox had called him anything resembling a non-insult. Yes, Kurama? It's nothing. Just go back to sleep. Kurama grumbled after a minute. Naruto sighed at his sort of friend's attitude. No, Kurama, you've been like this since I failed to use your Four Tails chakra. Kurama, what is it with you? Tell me. Go to the Forest of Death and enter your mindscape. We'll talk there. Confused, Naruto replaced himself with a shadow clone, letting Angel sleep on the fake stomach and silently put on his shoes. With a look back towards his bedroom door, the blonde quietly leaves for a place he dreaded. With Dragon hours earlier, the commander of Anbu had to be the best in the forces. He had to be on par with the Kage, be able to keep a cool head in the midst of dire situations, and have the ability to step in the battle if Hokage had died. Dragon had all those things, and still find it difficult to face his underlings, both of whom were technically older than him. Well, we'll discuss this later. For now, Kakashi, prepare the lightning ninjutsu, and Tiger, try to keep up with him. Boxed in with your Mokitan. Now, go. Dragon ordered and activated his cursed eye. Han stared impassively at his attackers. Clearly Konoha, but inside both he and Koko were nervous. So far he could pick apart the two shinobis, but this new one. Be careful, that one has the Mangekyo. It's dangerous. We should retreat. Koko was advising frantically. Han would have heard the advice, if not only it wasn't impossible with its empty terrain. Perfect for his boil release, as targets couldn't hide. It was also perfect for his new opponent as well, it seemed. Only crossing his arms in an axe stopped a Sunshin to the throat. After imaging filled the space around him, making the Jinchuriki have to dodge both a Sunshin water and a wooden spike, lightning style. Electromagnetic murder. Kakashi pushed his chakra into Han. Han managed to puncture the mechanism from his team. Shit, Han cursed and did a spiral spin to avoid multiple wooden spikes. Contrary to popular belief, Han was very flexible and was able to get inside the opponent's openings. But with his two hand signs, a stream of stems shoot out of his hands at the Mokitan user, only for it to catch fire as a wood clone. Ducking, he avoided a cartwheel kick and grabs the dragon masked one's leg and crushed him under his hand hard. The man just hissed and another lightning jutsu impales the other side of his armor, this time paralyzing Han for a moment. Four tails of his version 1 cloak erupted again after disappearing when he believed the fight to be over, before the fast one joined in and he was regretting it now. Still swinging his capture around, Han got Kakashi in the range. Erupting strong foot. Using the last of his boiling steam, Han rocketed the copy ninja away towards Danzo and only survived as his Sharingan allowed him to see the attack in time to block the burnt of it aimed at his chest. Needless to say, Kakashi would be hurting in the morning. Wood release. Smothering binding technique. Danzo wheezed a bit out of chakra. His reserves were never anything special and today was taxing them. Wood vines captured Han, immobilizing and draining the demonic chakra. Han was already pushing through it, though he dropped Dragon and the man used a Sunshin to land next to Danzo. Chidori, Kakashi said as he did. Susanoo, Tsukumo, an inhumane-looking chakra image of a warrior-like creature, rises above Dragon. Its ribcage opened and several chakra spikes shook forward, impaling Han and the land around the Jinchuriki before dissipating once Dragon dropped the technique and clutched his eye. Han lay dead, the demonic chakra already spreading everywhere. Ugh, it's been too long since I used that. Dragon groaned. His subordinates dropped to the ground as well. Kakashi and Danzo both sporting burns and cracked ribs, Dragon himself having a possible fractured leg. His Sunshin was useful, but it left the user open for a counter-strike. It's how he lost his first eye all those years ago. He wraps the leg up after some medical ninjutsu, deeming it able to last till they got back. Dragon-sama, how? Danzo tried, but Dragon stopped him. Once we're safe at home, the chakra will be felt by my reinforcements, and they'll be here within several hours. For now, make your wood go away. Kakashi, add some more lightning marks while I position the bodies and hide our trail. Rain started pattering due to its being the wet season. A small blessing, as it would aid in masking their scents. Yes, sir, they both said, though neither could look at him. The things he did for Konoha, back in Konoha, present. And we made it, where Eva will suspect Kumo just as you ordered, Hokage-sama. Dragon finished his report, him and the others sitting down. The Hokage looked older than ever. They were in the Black Ops room, the place where missions that didn't exist were handed out. Dragons had been here many times. They were still when he was given that mission. Thank you, Dragon. While it pains me to possibly start a war between the two villages, Konoha wouldn't have survived had they sent Han and Roshi. At least now we still had a solid chance. Of course, Hokage-sama. Dragon bowed his head. Kakashi and Tenzo, who was unmasked, had blank looks. We have around 5 years to give or take before the Gobi manifests again, at which he was still scramble to reseal it. Until then, only Kumo has 2, putting us at an advantage as we hold the QB. Though I hate things of Naruto that way. Mouse knows his duty, and he's happy. He just has a chakra battery of sorts, one that will help both him and Konoha in the long run. Sort of sense and size. Now I think you need a few minutes alone with your team. This room is secure. I'll be taking a stroll. And while I take a stroll, you can talk. You have authorization to tell them what you wish. Even though you can tell them the whole truth. The weight of this statement hits the commander as his leader stood up and walked away. Soon they were left alone. The 3 powerful shinobi, one S rank and the other 2 A rank, sat in silence. Finally Kakashi spoke. Why? Why did you let us think you were dead, Shisui? For the first time in years, Dragon took off his mask outside of his sealed room. The face of Shisui Uchiha thought to everyone but his Hokage to be dead until now that his stared with one eye at his old comrades and friends. It's hard to explain. Try us, Kakashi quipped. He had been on the same squad as Shisui for a short time, before the younger man became a one-man team for a special assignment for the Hokage. Kakashi and Tenzo had both tried to keep in contact with their friend, but he drifted apart. Ice became more worried, and then he committed suicide. Though many blamed Itachi, it was another failure on Kakashi's part. Even if the rational side assured him he had no way of knowing what was happening. And now Shisui sat in front of him once again, not dead but instead a different person, as the commander, a more serious but still joking individual. It was too much. Kakashi had to know why. Fine, just sit back and don't interrupt, okay? The two nodded slowly. Taking a deep breath, Shisui spoke, taking Sarutobi's advice and getting the weight off of his shoulders. It all began when Danzo Shimura set his eyes on the Sharingan. After Naruto's birth, he did everything to sow discord among the clan for his own desires. My cousin Itachi was caught in the middle, the most loyal shinobi I know. Itachi tried his hardest to stop it, but Danzo and the others' party didn't want the Uchiha stopped. They wanted them dead. On and on, Shisui spun the tale of the Uchiha's tragic demise. 2 erupted shinobis, his audience, with Naruto. Naruto sat in the treehouse in cabin in the middle of the forest of death. His captain had made for the squad during the training last month. Getting into the lotus position, he dove deep into his mind. Walking up in the sewer like a seal was never fun moment. Naruto blinked quickly but struck off towards Kurama. Kurama held his breath as his container approached. He wasn't sure if he should be hopeful or spiteful. Hope that was weird child, that was a certain type of genius with a silly side was the one. Or be spiteful in the knowledge that he was like every other human since his father. Kurama knew. Naruto ambled and slightly smiled at Kurama, not realizing before they knew how he had grown to begrudgingly care for the fox in his head. Hey Kurama, what's the deal dragging me here in the middle of the night? You're here to meet me. A voice very much like Naruto's own, yet dripping with malice spoke. From the shadow clones of a Naruto, though with black holes for eyes, walks out a cruel smile under his mask. You're not a shadow clone, Naruto deduced. Yet, you look like me, minus the eyes. Who are you? Why, I'm you! Or the real you, that is. The clone mocked, walking around Naruto like a predator. Kurama watched silently from the shadows of his cage. The creature in front represented the darkness deep tightly contained in his container's heart, the rage that Kurama could rather gather up. If Naruto couldn't beat it, he'd be taken over, and Kurama would be released. The fox didn't know if he wanted that. Before meeting and talking with Naruto, he'd have done anything to escape, but now he wasn't sure to having a human that was approaching friendship status. Dying was what he wanted, not even for freedom. As he observed, Kurama just sighed and realized either way things were changing. I'm the darkness, the rage you want to unleash. I'm what the villagers created. I'm the killer in you. Give in, will become powerful. With me in charge. Dark Naruto, as the original, began thinking of him, as said while pointing to himself. No, I won't let you take over. Things are different now. I have friends, comrades. The two clashed. Dark Naruto aiming for his vital points, Naruto doing the same. Punch for punch, the match blocking everything the other threw. Any cuts disappearing as it was in the mindscape. The village is battered now. My squad, my family is enough. The shinobi sector accepts me. They break apart and cleared, both realizing a battle of strength would do nothing. So, words were the ammo now. Yet you can't talk and walk around the village, except in your anbu gear, without jeers and fearful looks. Dark Naruto countered. Naruto shook his head. They'll change, and I don't need them. The anbu and jonin see us as a weapon. We remind everyone of father or their pain. Not even our godfather wanted us. You still refuse to see the truth? Remember this? A scene in the water played out. It was of Naruto, barely an age to read, yet kicked out of the orphanage. An anbu, Kakashi, he realized, watched impassively from the tree nearby, simply signaling for the Hokage to be called, never comforting Naruto as he sat on the swing in the dying light. The Hokage had sighed when he arrived soon after, and had let Naruto sleep in his office that night. The council had decided to put him in an apartment after that, and Naruto had always been alone. That was years ago. It's in the past. His protest died when another scene appeared. This time a 10-year-old Naruto had cried to his Gigi that his papers were being grabbed wrong, but the Hokage just brushed him off with a "don't accuse our Chunin of such things without real proof. Keep working hard, Naruto, and I'll sure you'll pass soon." Naruto had gone on a pranking spree after that. No one bothered to notice how cunning they were or how far he'd grown. Multiple other memories appeared, each painful in their own way. Being glared at what he feel and failed to see. The jeers barely whispered. Walking into his apartment, vandalized again on his birthday while he was at school. No violent acts, but still, to have his books torn and food kicked around a bit was disheartening. He'd never pressed charges, even the times they caught the ones responsible, as he wanted them to accept him and be Hokage. Now do you see? They need to pay. With Kurama's help, we could rampage, make them fear us, make them respect us. No, Naruto said after looking at another memory, this time of one of his lonely camping trips into the forest while eating fish. He met his dark half's gaze. I will protect the village. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. Not everyone hates me. A lot of others are growing to like me. Actually, I have a comrade, a best friend. Even if he's an idiot and calls me a stupid nickname, our dream died because of the village, Dark Naruto pointed out. Naruto nodded. No, they changed. Why be Hokage stuck with paperwork when you can be a shinobi who protects your village on the field instead? I can be a Jonin sensei one day, an anbu captain. Heck, if Dragon-sama ever retires, he's ageless, I swear. Then I could be the commander. Naruto rambled on. Dark Naruto crawled. So you'll leave me behind, here to rot, while you make us the village attack dog. What's the point? I am useless. Naruto smiled a bit. No, you're not. Both Kurama and Dark Naruto shot him looks. You're the one that kept me alive, that made killing for the village doable. You made me, no, us, balanced. For there can be light without darkness, or good without bad. No one is all good, not even the sage. We just need to get along, Naruto said, remembering the lesson of yin and yang that the Hokage had taught him. The past is the past. It is a part of who we are. But let's not let the past shadow the future, okay? He held out a hand, pulling down his mask and smiling a genuine smile. Dark Naruto gazed at the hand like it could be trick. but hesitantly take it. After a minute, he took copies and pulls down his mask for a smile. Two whiskered blondes stared at one another. Even as Dark Naruto's eyes became blue and he faded. "Thank you," were his last words before Naruto had a feeling of completeness. A feeling he didn't realize he'd missed before now. Kurama's mouth was slightly agape. His container merged with his darkness, beating it not by force but by acceptance. Strangely, Kurama couldn't help but be impressed with the display. "Hey Kurama," his human friend Kurama decided said. Yes, Naruto could be a friend, even if his methods were delusional. "Like the show, I hope, my friend?" As if you could be a friend. "Get out of here, Gaki. Your presence annoys me." Kurama snorted, insulting Naruto, hiding the hopeful glint by the shadows. One day you'll see the truth. You like me. Just you wait." "Whatever, Naruto." Neither understood that night under the crescent moon in the vicious forest, the buddings of the most powerful partnership was born, even if it was in its fancy and dominated by insults. Some relationships were just like that. Unknown to Naruto, his captain and big brother / senpai were on their own emotional roller coaster. With Dragon, no, Shisui, they reminded themselves, looked hopeful after telling the two first people after the Hokage everything. "So you were supposed to make Fugaku stop the coup with your Sharingan?" "Yes. And then Danzo stole one of your eyes. So you went to the Hokage instead of killing the bastard right there. He had you fake your death and put Itachi in a genjutsu and give him your other eye, which was really your mother's, who died years ago. The coup happens and now Itachi is a double agent for the village in the organization that wants to rip the Kyuubi out of Sensei's son." "Yes, at the time we didn't know about the second man pulling the strings, or that Danzo helped the organization, the coup, by manipulating. His plan was to use my eye to get Naruto under his control as Hiruzen would think it's his own choice. He succeeds too, but I reversed it, making Danzo freak out. Thinking the eye only worked as a pair, he went underground, keeping route closed. Hiruzen refused to believe his friend went that low, so I had to gather sufficient evidence in his words before I can kill him and take my eye back. Technically I could kill him now, but Root has to be eradicated, with its shinobi either joining or dying. Root was supposed to be controlled by the Hokage, but Danzo was kept, most of them, as his private army, doing dirty work that has actually harmed the village, not helped it. The plan now is to take him and his lackeys out right after the exams, letting the chaos of Orochimaru and Suna plans be a mask for what amounts of mass murder. If some escape the initial cleansing, we can tell the public they're Suna spies instead of kidnapped and brainwashed members of clan. Out of the 300 root agents estimated from our mole inside, is that only 100 the children will be salvaged? An inside agent? Danzo asked with a raised eyebrow. His time in Roots showed that usually moles were quickly turned or eradicated. Yes, the agent used to follow Danzo blindly, but their sense started to question their methods after being on a long-term assignment in the village. They sought the Hokage and I while out ago, letting us put a tracking seal on him and an Aburame bug to gather intel. Because of them, we're ready. Good. Let's take the creep out, Kakashi stated. Shisui blinked. Oh hell no, you two were just told to keep quiet. And that I wanted to let two of my old friends know the truth. You guys can't just keep thinking running while the Hokage and I do this. Nope. Sorry, Dragon-sama. Kakashi replied with an eye smile and sickly sweet tone. But according to you, he tried to take Naruto and make him his own personal pet. He already attempted to do the same thing on Danzo here. We can be of help. Senpai is correct. Let us help. We are comrades and friends. Danzo said. Shisui smiled at them. Alright. Already. He held his hands up in surrender. You win. I'll write you up in my strategy. Now, here he puts on his mask again and slightly shifts into Dragon once more, even if they were basically the same. Let's go get some medical attention before I go break most defenses again. He rubbed his hands together gleefully. Kakashi and Danzo sweated. Dragon-sama, why do you keep breaking Naruto's seals down and replacing his wood every night? Danzo asked. Dragon tapped under his chin. It would be. Well, it's a good mental work out for me. Disabling his traps and seal. That and it makes Mouse keeps improving security while also keeping him dedicated to guys training. That and it's fun, he added as they walked, or in case Dragon tried to not limp over to the medical section where the Nin would be waiting. An hour later, the three made it to the apartment. Kakashi and Tenzo decided to help in the mischief. They see Naruto casually walk into the door. Tenzo frowned. He's not supposed to be up this late. Oh, someone is having corner duty during our next Tokage shift, Tenzo muttered. Kakashi snorted. Tenzo, calm down. You're his captain, not mother. Naruto is a ninja, and if he wants to stay out until 3 a.m. in the morning, that's his problem. Tenzo gasped at him while Dragon chuckled. I have to agree, he shouldn't be punished, as tomorrow is just a training day, not a mission. Also, I find the best punishment would be letting Guy help aid his flames of youth earlier than normal, nay? The two devilish smirks met his hidden one. Dragon knocked on the guy's door, and the great beast answered with a blinding grin. Greetings, Guy. Mouse was heartbroken today that you left him behind yesterday. I think taking him early would cheer him up. Him and his temporary roommate just love early morning workouts, Dragon said cheerfully. Guy rambled on about youth before zipping by with the training gear. Already in Naruto's apartment, Kakashi and Tenzo having already gotten it untrapped for him. No! Were the dual cries as Naruto and Hikaru were manhandled for their special training. How did you know Naruto missed training yesterday? Tenzo asked idly once they left. Dragon turned towards him. I'm the commander. I know everything. And when I'm not here, my crow is... He added silently. Right, sure, said both of them. When Naruto later limped into the ninjutsu lessons with Jiraiya, who had returned and planned on showing his godson the five-prong seal, another earth-style move, he was twitching with bags under his eyes. Youth, damn youth, I will get my revenge. The boy cackled madly, making Jiraiya wonder if the fox was taking over. In the seal, Kurama had his ears covered, not wanting to hear that cursed word again. Meanwhile, disheveled Hikaru arrived for Team 7 training in a similar state as his younger friend, Eva. Later, Oniki raged against his desk. Kumo, their supposed allies, had killed one of their Jinchurikis, meaning they would be down to one for 4 to 6 years before it reformed. Bastards, Oniki muttered. The evidence pointed to Kumo and that some of them got away, but it would be stupid to go to war now. Before they could prepare, Oniki turned towards his trembling assistant. Send word to Orochimaru. We won't be helping in his invasion for personal matters. Call Roshi back. He'll be confined into the village. I won't have another of our Jinchuriki dead. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this part of, guys. Hope you like this one, and if you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. As this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing out.